It has everything to do with what is happening within you, how you live, what you stand for, and how you discipline yourself when no one is watching. Discipline is the first pillar of real success. It is the foundation that keeps everything else steady. Without discipline, talent becomes wasted potential. A person can be gifted, intelligent, or strong, but if they do not have the control to stay focused and consistent, their ability will fade away. Discipline is not about punishment, it is about respect. Respect for your goals, your time, and your values. It is waking up early even when you are tired. It is training when no one claps for you. It is saying no to the easy path when you know it leads nowhere. Discipline builds character, and character builds legacy. People often confuse motivation with discipline. Motivation is temporary, it comes and goes. You can watch a video, hear a speech, or feel inspired for a moment, but when that feeling disappears, discipline is what keeps you moving forward. A disciplined person doesn't need the world to push them. They already know what needs to be done, and they do it because it aligns with their purpose. Discipline teaches patience, and patience gives birth to success that lasts. Purpose gives meaning to discipline. Without a purpose, even discipline can become mechanical. A person needs to know why they do what they do. Purpose is the fire that keeps the spirit alive during difficult times. When challenges come, when doubts arise, purpose reminds you of the bigger picture. A fighter without purpose is just swinging blindly. A person with purpose knows that every sacrifice, every hardship, every moment of pain is a step toward something meaningful. Purpose transforms work into worship, effort into fulfillment. It makes the journey as valuable as the destination. In life, you will meet many people who look successful from the outside. They have wealth, recognition, and influence, but inside they are restless. They chase approval, attention, and comparison. But the more they get, the emptier they feel. Fame is a shadow. It disappears the moment the light moves away. When you measure your worth by other people's eyes, you will always be hungry for more. But when you measure your worth by your discipline and purpose, you will find peace even in silence. Real success doesn't need validation. It is self-sufficient because it is built on truth, not illusion. Respect is the third pillar that completes the code of true success. Respect is not demanded. It is earned through consistent actions, humility, and integrity. A person who respects others, who respects their craft, and who respects themselves stands tall without arrogance. Respect keeps you grounded when success tries to lift your ego. It reminds you that no matter how high you rise, you remain a student of life. Respect also connects you with people who share the same values, creating a circle of strength, loyalty, and growth. Success that comes from respect is clean and lasting. It doesn't hurt others, it doesn't betray trust, and it doesn't rely on manipulation. When you build your path on respect, people remember you not just for what you achieved, but for how you carried yourself along the way. Discipline shapes your effort, purpose gives it direction, and respect keeps it pure. Together, they form a kind of success that no fame or money can replace. There is a difference between winning and succeeding. Winning is external. It is about results, numbers, or trophies. Succeeding is internal. It is about mastering yourself, your emotions, and your principles. Many people can win for a short time, but only a few succeed in the long run. When your focus is on discipline, purpose, and respect, you are not competing with others. You are competing with the person you were yesterday. You become unshakable because your foundation is not built on external rewards but on internal growth. Money and fame are tools, not goals. They can help you reach others or support your family, but they cannot define who you are. When you make them your purpose, you lose control, they start owning you. But when you live with discipline, purpose, and respect, you own your life. You decide what success means to you, not the world. You understand that the true reward of discipline is freedom. Freedom from chaos, laziness, and confusion. The reward of purpose is direction, knowing where you are going and why. The reward of respect is peace, peace with yourself and the people around you. The real measure of success is simple: how you act when no one is watching, how you treat others when you gain power, and how you stay humble when you win. It is not about applause or headlines. It is about being able to look in the mirror and feel proud of the person looking back. When you live by discipline, guided by purpose, and grounded in respect, you carry a success that no one can take from you. A fighter's strength comes from values, not from the crowd's cheers. The sound of applause fades, but what stays is the foundation built through belief, faith, and moral discipline. Many people mistake power for strength, thinking it comes from muscles, money, or influence. But true strength is quiet, humble, and deeply rooted in what a person stands for. When a person's actions are guided by values rather than the desire for attention, their power becomes unshakable because it is built on something that cannot be taken away. The crowd can be unpredictable. One day it lifts you up, the next day it turns away. If your strength depends on the crowd's approval, you will live a life of constant fear and instability. You will always perform for others instead of living for yourself. A fighter who listens too closely to cheers starts fighting for noise, not purpose. And when the cheers stop, he feels lost. But when your motivation comes from values, from loyalty, respect, and belief, then even silence becomes your ally. You no longer need validation to know your worth. Values give a fighter direction. They are like a compass that never loses its sense of north, no matter how stormy the path becomes. When you act from values, your decisions become clearer. You don't chase shortcuts. You don't betray your principles for comfort. In difficult moments, values protect you from losing yourself. They remind you who you are and what you are fighting for. A fighter who trains his body but forgets to train his heart is incomplete. The greatest battles are not fought in the arena, but inside the soul, between what is easy and what is right. Discipline, honesty, respect, patience, and gratitude. These are not just words, they are shields. They protect a person from pride, anger, and temptation. A fighter guided by values knows when to stay calm and when to act. He doesn't let emotion rule him because he understands that real power is control, not aggression. It is the ability to stay composed when provoked and humble when victorious. Strength without values becomes dangerous. It destroys rather than builds. But strength guided by moral purpose inspires, teaches, and uplifts others. In life, there will always be people who chase recognition, who measure their value by how loud others cheer. They depend on applause to feel alive. But a person of principles doesn't need an audience. They know that the most important approval is from within, from their own conscience. When you have strong values, you can stand alone and still feel complete. You can lose a fight and still keep your honor. Because in the end, it's not about how many people saw you win, but about how many times you stayed true to yourself when no one was watching. Every fighter faces a moment of choice: to fight for fame or to fight for meaning. The path of fame is easy at first but empty at the end. The path of values is difficult at first but fulfilling forever. It demands sacrifice, patience, and silence. It means walking away from temptation, turning down praise that doesn't feel honest, and staying disciplined even when no one notices. But through this struggle, the fighter's spirit becomes unbreakable. The strength that comes from values cannot be destroyed by failure or time, because it does not depend on results, it depends on truth. Crowds are temporary, but character is permanent. The audience may remember your victories, but your values will define your legacy. You can win every match and still lose respect if you forget your principles. But if you hold on to what is right. Even one act of integrity can echo longer than 1,000 cheers. This kind of strength cannot be bought, imitated, or faked. It grows slowly through discipline, humility, and consistency. It shows in how you treat others, in how you speak, in how you react when life tests you. When a fighter stands in the ring, the crowd only sees the punches, the power, the performance. But real strength comes from all the invisible battles, the choices made in silence, the temptations resisted, the words left unsaid out of respect. Strength is not loud. It doesn't need to prove itself. It shows itself in restraint, in patience, in faith. It's the calm before the storm, the stillness in the heart that refuses to break no matter the pressure. The moment a person realizes that their true fight is not for approval, but for principle, everything changes. The noise of the world no longer matters. What matters is staying disciplined, living honestly, respecting others, and doing what is right even when it's hard. This kind of strength builds peace. It gives you control over yourself, which is the greatest victory a person can achieve. The cheers will come and go, but your values will remain, carrying you forward long after the lights have gone out. Faith, family, and self-control are greater than any championship belt. These three pillars are the true foundation of a strong and meaningful life. Belts, titles, and trophies can be taken away, but the love of family, the strength of faith, and the discipline of self-control are what keep a person standing when the spotlight fades. Many people chase greatness in the wrong direction, believing that success is something they can wear, hold, or show. But real greatness lives inside, built on loyalty, belief, and balance. Without these, even the most powerful person will eventually fall. Faith gives direction when the path becomes unclear. It is not just belief in something higher, but trust that every moment, good or bad, has purpose. Faith is what keeps you calm in chaos. It teaches patience, humility, and gratitude. When the world celebrates you, faith reminds you that everything comes from above. And when the world doubts you, faith reminds you to keep moving. It protects you from arrogance and despair. It tells you that victory is not always winning a fight. Sometimes it is refusing to quit. A person with faith does not fear loss because they understand that strength is built through trials, not comfort. Family is the heart that keeps the fighter alive. It is the reminder of who you are before the fame, before the victories, before the crowd. Family grounds you, giving you identity and purpose. They are the people who see you without the medals, without the spotlight, and still believe in you. A man can travel the world and conquer arenas, but without family, his victories feel empty. The lessons from home, respect, honesty, sacrifice, shape the values that define real success. Family teaches you that leadership is not about domination, but about responsibility. When you fight for your family, your motivation becomes stronger, cleaner, and selfless. You no longer fight to prove others wrong. You fight to make those who raised you proud. There is strength in knowing you represent more than yourself. Every action, every word becomes part of a legacy that carries your family's name. This kind of accountability builds integrity. It keeps you disciplined even when no one is watching. Family is not only blood, it is anyone who stands beside you when times are difficult. Their love is not based on your wins, but on your character. This kind of love gives courage that no title can replace. It reminds you that no matter how far you go, you are never alone. Self-control is the bridge that connects faith and family to action. Without control, faith becomes talk, and family becomes memory. Self-control is what transforms belief into behavior. It is the strength to walk away from arrogance when everyone praises you. It is the calmness to stay silent when provoked. It is the patience to train harder when your body wants rest, and the wisdom to stop when pride wants to continue. Many strong people lose everything because they cannot control their emotions. They win against opponents but lose against themselves. The real fight is not outside. The real fight is not outside. It is within. The fight against ego, anger, greed, and impatience. A person with self-control earns respect without demanding it. They do not react to every insult, nor do they celebrate every success with arrogance. Their strength comes from discipline, not emotion. When you control your impulses, you control your destiny. You cannot be manipulated by opinions or distractions, because your mind remains clear. In a world that constantly provokes and tempts, self-control becomes a rare and powerful weapon. It gives you freedom from chaos, fear, and regret. Faith, family, and self-control together create balance. One without the other is incomplete. Faith without control leads to pride. Family without faith becomes fragile. Control without love becomes cold. But when all three unite, they create harmony. This balance gives a person peace that cannot be shaken by failure or fame. It allows them to remain humble in victory and steady in defeat. You learn to live with purpose instead of pressure, gratitude instead of greed. The championship belt shines brightly, but it does not last forever. It stays on the shelf while life continues. Belts gather dust, but faith keeps growing. Family keeps giving. Self-control keeps guiding. The world often celebrates what it can see: trophies, fame, success. But the strongest foundation is invisible. It lives in how you treat others, how you honor your loved ones, how you stay true to your beliefs, and how you master yourself. A person who values these things understands that success is temporary, but legacy is eternal. The belt might define your career, but your faith defines your spirit, your family defines your heart, and your self-control defines your strength. When you live by these principles, no loss can defeat you, and no victory can change you. These are the things that make a fighter truly undefeated, not in record, but in soul. The hardest battles are fought within, against ego, laziness, and doubt. Many people look at fighters, leaders, or high achievers and see the physical or visible victories, the trophies, the titles, the recognition. They think the battle is only external, fought in arenas, offices, or stages. But the truth is that the greatest victories happen inside a person. The internal struggle shapes the external one. Before someone can overcome an opponent, they must first conquer themselves. Ego, laziness, and doubt are silent enemies, stronger than any rival, because they attack when no one is watching and weaken a person from within. Ego is often the first barrier. It disguises itself as confidence or pride, but unchecked, it becomes destructive. A person consumed by ego cannot see their weaknesses, cannot admit mistakes, and cannot learn from failure. Ego demands attention, approval, and control, which distracts from true purpose. It turns victory into vanity and defeats into despair. The internal battle against ego requires honesty and humility. It is about understanding that no matter how strong, skilled, or successful you are, there is always more to learn, more to improve, and more to respect. The strongest fighters are those who keep their ego in check, who know that their worth is not measured by praise, and who remain disciplined even when everyone else expects them to show off. Laziness is another silent opponent, more subtle but equally dangerous. It appears in small choices: skipping training, taking the easy road, procrastinating, or settling for comfort. Laziness does not strike all at once. It creeps in slowly, convincing a person that rest is more valuable than effort, that immediate gratification is better than long-term growth. Overcoming laziness requires discipline, consistency, and mental toughness. It is a battle fought in moments when no one is watching, when the world offers distractions, and when giving up seems easier than pushing forward. A fighter who defeats laziness trains even when tired, studies even when bored, and sacrifices even when convenient. It is through these small, consistent actions that greatness is forged. Doubt is perhaps the most dangerous internal enemy because it attacks the mind. It whispers fears, questions abilities, and magnifies failures. Doubt can paralyze even the strongest person if it is allowed to take root. It tells a fighter that they are not good enough, that their dreams are unrealistic, that their hard work will never pay off. Every champion has faced doubt. What separates the winners is the ability to acknowledge it without letting it control their actions. Overcoming doubt requires faith in oneself, trust in preparation, and clarity of purpose. A person must learn to move forward, even when the mind questions every step, because action in the presence of doubt is what builds resilience and confidence. The internal battle is constant and unending. Even the most disciplined, faithful, and humble person will face ego, laziness, and doubt repeatedly. The difference is that they recognize these challenges as tests, not obstacles. Each time they resist ego, push past laziness, and act despite doubt, they strengthen their inner foundation. This inner strength reflects in everything they do, their decisions, their actions, and their ability to face external challenges without fear. Physical training, strategy, and talent are tools, but the mind is the battlefield where true victory is decided. Understanding this internal struggle also teaches patience and perspective. External victories are temporary, titles can be lost, recognition fades, and opponents can rise, but the inner victories, mastering your impulses, committing to consistent effort, and trusting yourself in moments of uncertainty, last a lifetime. They build a person who is unshakable, who faces challenges with calm, and who remains humble in success and resilient in failure. When a fighter conquers their own ego, defeats laziness, and silences doubt, they become unstoppable because they are no longer dependent on circumstances, people, or outcomes to feel strong. Many people fail to recognize these battles because they are invisible. The world applauds what it can see, but the quiet moments, when a person chooses to keep going, when they resist temptation, when they persist despite fear, are the moments that define character. These internal victories are the foundation of discipline, focus, and integrity. A fighter may lose a match but win the battle within, and in the long term, that inner victory matters far more than any scorecard or medal. Facing ego, laziness, and doubt also builds empathy and humility. A person who has struggled internally can understand others' struggles, treat them with respect, and inspire them to overcome their own challenges. Strength that comes from fighting only external battles is fragile. Strength that comes from mastering oneself is enduring and influential. The ability to confront internal weaknesses head-on teaches patience, perseverance, and self-awareness, qualities that no external victory can replace. The hardest battles are often silent. No crowd cheers, no camera captures them, and no one notices the effort. But these battles shape every choice, every action, and every outcome. Ego, laziness, and doubt will always appear. But a person who continues to fight internally becomes someone who can face the world without fear, someone whose strength is not temporary, and someone whose victories resonate far beyond the arena. Legacy is built not by what is shouted in the arena, but by what is quietly lived every day. Many people chase fame, applause, and temporary recognition, believing that leaving a mark on the world comes from visibility. They think that winning a title, receiving awards, or being celebrated on social media defines success. But the truth is, true legacy is forged in the small, consistent actions that reflect character, discipline, and purpose. It is the sum of choices made when no one is watching, the respect shown to others, and the ability to stay true to one's principles even when it is difficult or inconvenient. Legacy is not about moments of glory, it is about a lifetime of integrity. The first step in building a meaningful legacy is understanding that actions speak louder than words. Anyone can speak about greatness, about values, about honor, but what others remember is how a person lives those ideas every day. A fighter who trains tirelessly, treats opponents with respect, and honors commitments demonstrates a standard that goes far beyond victories. People remember the effort, the discipline, and the consistency, not just the outcome of a single fight. When someone commits to living by principles, their influence spreads quietly but deeply. That influence becomes the foundation of a legacy that lasts longer than fame, money, or records ever could. Sacrifice is central to legacy. Every meaningful life requires giving up something in the present to secure something greater in the future. It is not easy to resist short-term rewards for long-term impact. The world constantly offers distractions, temptations, and shortcuts that promise recognition or comfort, but a person focused on legacy remains steadfast. They understand that integrity cannot be compromised, that respect cannot be purchased, and that true honor comes from enduring challenges without betraying principles. Sacrifice is not just about effort in training or work, it is about resisting ego, controlling impulses, and prioritizing what is truly important, whether that is family, faith, or personal growth. Mentorship and the example set for others are also crucial components of legacy. A person may leave trophies and titles behind, but what inspires others is the way they conduct themselves in life. Children, peers, and future generations learn, not from words but from deeds. When someone demonstrates patience, humility, and courage in difficult situations, they create a blueprint that others can follow. Legacy is a living influence passed down through values and actions, shaping people who may never have known the individual personally. The ripple effect of character is far more enduring than any temporary accolade. Resilience plays a major role in defining lasting impact. Everyone faces setbacks, failures, and losses, but how a person responds to these challenges determines how they are remembered. A fighter may lose a match, a leader may fail a plan, or a professional may miss an opportunity, yet their commitment to integrity and perseverance leaves a lasting impression. Legacy is not about being perfect, it is about demonstrating unwavering dedication to principles and continuing forward with courage despite adversity. The world admires those who rise after failure, not only for the victory they eventually achieve, but for the example of persistence they leave behind. Humility is another essential factor. True legacy is never built on arrogance or ego. Those who prioritize recognition over impact often find their influence fleeting. In contrast, those who quietly pursue excellence, treat others with respect, and remain grounded create a reputation that endures. Humility allows a person to connect with others authentically and to inspire without force. People remember the calm confidence that comes from inner strength, not the loud proclamations of success. A humble life leaves footprints that others are inspired to follow rather than resent or envy. Consistency is what transforms intention into legacy. Daily habits, repeated efforts, and continual dedication to values accumulate into a life that cannot be ignored. One speech or one achievement is temporary, but decades of consistent integrity, discipline, and respect leave a mark that lasts. Small acts of honesty, loyalty, and courage repeated over years create a life that people admire and aspire to emulate. Legacy is not built overnight. It is the product of persistence in living rightly, even when the world offers little notice or reward. A focus on legacy also requires clarity of purpose. It is not enough to act with good intentions. A person must have a vision for what kind of life they want to lead and what impact they hope to leave. When actions are guided by a clear sense of purpose, choices become deliberate, priorities become clear, and distractions lose power. Purpose aligns effort with values, ensuring that every sacrifice, every moment of discipline, and every act of integrity contributes to something greater than oneself. Legacy is the natural result of living with intention, not simply reacting to life's circumstances. Ultimately, legacy is about influence, integrity, and the quiet power of example. It is what remains when the spotlight fades, when applause ends, and when titles are gone. It is the character remembered, the courage admired, and the values passed on to others. People may forget the scorecards, the records, or the fleeting fame, but they remember the strength of a person's spirit, the clarity of their purpose, and the consistency of their principles. A life focused on true impact leaves a resonance that cannot be erased because it is built on something far more enduring than momentary recognition. Those who chase fame may be applauded in the present, but those who live with integrity, discipline, humility, and purpose are remembered forever. Legacy is not about what you win, it is about what you give, what you inspire, and how you stand when no one is watching. Every choice contributes to this enduring footprint.